It's Angie Andreessen. I am the business analyst here at DLI working on the project. I think I've probably worked with everyone on this call to some extent already, but if not, hello. Today we are going to specifically look at some of the questions that we've been getting regarding answer hours, or not answer hours for group admins and the group admin questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into my deck here. As I did last time, I just structured this a little bit differently because you all have some different needs than just kind of our general answer hours. So I've put up some of the more frequently asked questions that I've been getting from this group. There's some new ones this week. And then I want to address any questions that you all have. So if you want to go ahead and put those in the chat, we take those and we put those in our FAQs. And then we're also recording this session for later reference in case you guys want to reference that. I do have a bulletin here for the upcoming answer hour session, so I'll speak a little bit to that. Just because of the holidays, our schedule will be shifting a little bit. So I'll kind of walk through the plans for future answer hour sessions of this nature. So here are some of the frequently asked questions, and I know that there have been, there are a few of these that I have covered in the past, but I do want to just kind of run through them again and talk through some of the new questions that have come up specifically with the legal community. So these are kind of the questions I've gotten. So how do I change permissions? How should each of the permissions be allocated for group members? How do the relationships work? The relationships to the attorney and the issues with visibility in cases. This is a new one that I've gotten, as well as the second one. How should my firm be set up for the service of process designee? And then just questions regarding emails that have been received and inability to open those documents. I'm going to go ahead and just get into my test system. I want to demonstrate this in these questions for you all. Bear with me just a second while I get into my attorney account. So the first question was, how do I change permissions? So everybody on this call should have the ability to change permissions because you would be a group administrator. So with that, what you can do is go up to your name in Canvas after you've logged in, click the My Groups, and you can see all of these people that are in my law firm group. Now, if I want to update the permissions, all I have to do is click on this little kebab menu over here, click Manage Group. It's going to show all the people that are already in my group. I can go ahead and just select one of these people, just click this checkbox, and I can see their permissions. So I'm going to demonstrate the permissions and the relationships really quickly here. So as we went through last time, these are the permissions that are available for our legal users. We've got our group administrator, which is what you all are. You're kind of the gatekeeper and permission grantor for your organization. There can be multiple group administrators. This is a permission that is probably the least likely to have the most people in your group just because it requires kind of some elevated security. We've got our service of process designee, and I'll talk through that one a little bit more coming up. Profile management designee, this is the person or people who would be updating your name or any addresses in campus. I know on that note, we have gotten a lot of questions regarding addresses that maybe are incorrect for your firm that are still showing up. You can send an email over to the help desk if you're seeing that, and we can certainly make those changes for you on our end if it's something that you're unable to change on your end. Designated contact for information requests from DLI. This is going to be the person who receives any letters, usually from our compliance department, but possibly from our ADR department, just requesting some sort of information from your firm. And the claim access administrator. Now, this person would be able to allocate access to any cases that your firm is listed as a party on. So important distinction, just because typically the firm is not going to be listed on the case itself, it will just be the attorney, but we did go ahead and just put this permission in just in case you did have an instance where you were listed as a party on the firm for some reason. So if I wanted to add or remove these permissions, right now we see that attorney 9 has all of them. So if I wanted to get rid of them, I would just click these trash cans, and let's say, oh, I actually do need them to be a group administrator. If I wanted to reapply the permission, I just press the plus sign and save. And I can see their permissions have changed. Additionally, we've got the relationships in here. So the relationships are going to be very important just because if you establish these relationships, it is going to allow those folks to file on behalf of their related attorneys. So you can see here that attorney 9 is related to Melissa, that's the legal assistant. I'm going to go ahead and add our other legal professional. And now, since we have both of those permissions with attorney 9, both Robert and Melissa would be able to file disputes or NOAs on behalf of that attorney. And then they would also be granted access to the cases and claims that that attorney is listed on. So we know that there's been some issues with historical cases or the legacy cases prior to campus and the access that's granted to the legal assistants or other legal professionals. If you're still having an issue with that, the recommendation would be just to go ahead and file your notice of appearance again on those. That should grant access to anybody who's related. Make sure that those relationships are established ahead of doing that. Now, another question that's related to that I've gotten quite a bit is, what if my attorney's already on the case? They can see it, it's totally fine. It says that I need to file a substitution. That is not a problem. If you go ahead and submit that substitution, it will do the exact same thing as if you did the NOA. Your attorney will still be listed as the attorney of record, and then any related legal professionals would also be granted access. All right. Toggling back into my slides so I can remember my questions. I think we've hit the first 4 kind of in that that swing. These next 2 are a little bit more involved. So how should the firm set up the service of process designee permissions? This is a question that we've been getting so much to our help desk, and I just want to make sure that it is clear. Now, I know we've gotten some feedback from you all that you would really like it if you could set it up so that each attorney kind of had their own service of process designee that was either their paralegal or legal assistant or another legal professional in the firm. So unfortunately, right now, that's not how it works, but that is something that we have taken down since we've gotten that feedback from quite a few of you. That's something that we're definitely going to consider for the future. Right now, how it works is that the service of process designees that are listed for your firm are going to be the people that receive legal service in every instance. So it's not specific to an attorney. Your attorneys would also get the legal service if they are the attorney that is being served, obviously. But your service of process designee is going to get everything for your firm that is served. So I would highly recommend that you take a good look at that permission in your firm. If you feel like people are getting way too many emails, or if you're just not sure why people aren't getting emails, just make sure that that service of process designee permission is allocated correctly. Now, the last one is regarding emails, saying that there is a new document in Campus and how you can open those. This is something that we do have a feedback item, or not a feedback item, a defect that's open on this. I believe that this is going to be resolved this week, but I did want to just give an example of how that would work and where you'd want to click. So I've been confused by this personally myself. If you get an email like this indicating that a new document is available, rather than clicking on this rehab case ID, this is going to take you to the case. What you're actually going to want to do is go directly to that document because you want to know the exact document. You don't want to have to open every document in that case. If you click on this hyperlink, it's going to take you to the login screen. Or if you're already logged in, it's just going to take you directly to the document. So you can see here, it took me directly to this document. I can see that it's for Emily. If I scroll down, I can see the related case. I can see who filed it, all that good stuff. So just a clarification on that. Make sure, go back into my email that you don't want to click on this. This will take you directly to that case. You actually want to click into the log into your account to go straight to that document. All right. So hopping back into the slides, that was kind of what I had planned for for questions for this answer hour today. I'm seeing a couple questions in the chat, so I'll start running through those. Let's see. So the service of process designees are getting everything. The problem is that they have to click on every document to see if it will open to transfer to the appropriate party. So as I mentioned, the issue right now, we're having an issue where people aren't able to view the documents when they open them via the email. That is going to be resolved. And we have also taken the feedback that hopefully we can get some additional information so that you all can more easily identify those files via the email itself rather than having to open the document. So that is something that we've heard really loud and clear from you all, something that we're investigating with our security team and our legal people to see if we can put a little bit more information into those emails. And hopefully if we can do that, that would help a little bit with triaging those documents. What day will this be fixed? So Tina, I think you're referring directly to the email. I believe that right now we have that set for our Thursday evening release. I unfortunately don't have an absolute sign off on that one. It's planned for that Thursday release. But essentially, those releases are exactly as I said, they're just planned. So in case something major happens, that one should, I believe, be resolved Friday when you guys log into the system. I'll keep monitoring the chat for questions. In the meantime, I did want to just kind of plug the Campus Central page here. So this is something we did talk about in the last answer hour, but we have made some updates to this, specifically putting our release notes in. So what I would recommend, and I believe that these are coming via email as well, is taking this page, and I'll put it right in the chat. It's a really good page to bookmark so that you can take a look. Usually it's going to be later on Friday or early Mondays, I believe, that they're going to try and get the release notes for our release up here. So if we look here at our legal one for this week, it has just some general information, and it's going to have a link to the release notes. What we do is we just separate them out by group. So you can see here for the legal group, and these are some of the ones that I went through in the last answer hour, it's going to show you what the issue was and the expected behavior for those specific issues. So this is a really good way to see if something that you maybe have been experiencing is resolved. If for some reason you don't see what you are looking for, you can always contact us and we can let you know if we have it logged or if we're working on it. Always good to check in with us because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to keep track. So please, if you ever are wondering about something that's on here, just go ahead and send us a message. We're happy to talk through that with you. All right. So going back into the slides, the last thing that I had to talk through was our answer hour schedule. So for those of you who were on that last meeting, We mentioned we won't be holding answer hours over the next few weeks just because we've gotten feedback that a lot of people will be out of the office from you all, from our stakeholder community. So we are planning to resume those the week of January 4th. Just to get a little bit of feedback from this group specifically, is this an answer hour that you all think we should keep, or something that you would rather we just kind of roll into the already scheduled answer hours? You all can just put any feedback in the chat regarding that. All right. I'm seeing some feedback that it would be helpful to keep these, so we can definitely keep these. We'll try to keep scheduling them after the legal answer hours. And it looks like I don't have any other questions in the chat at this point. I'll give it a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions or would like to see anything specifically in Canvas or anything of that nature. Otherwise, I can give you all some time back, or I'm not sure if Richard's on, but as Richard likes to say, give you back the gift of time. So 1:17. See if we get any new questions. And if not, we will plan to talk in January. When I see here a question, do the related staff members get copies of everything filed regardless of whether they are service of process designees? My understanding is that just the service of process designees and the attorney themselves would get that. You may be pulled into the service list if you are related, but essentially the service of process designee gets automatically checked if the attorney is checked or any of you all are checked. So it would depend on whether or not you're listed as a service of process designee for you to get that information 100% of the time. And then there was a question asking if this is recorded. Yes, this is recorded, so we will get that along with the previous answer hour that we had with the entire legal community up on the website as soon as we can. All right. With that, I will give you guys a little bit of time back. Oh, and I just got another question, so I apologize. The service of process designee should have their own login account to Canvas. That's a really good question. So you certainly can set that up. You can set up a separate account. I know some firms have done that. That is specifically set up to be the service of process designee. They also have that account related to all the attorneys so that that account would have access to the cases and claims the attorney has access to, or all of your attorneys have access to. So you would have to have a distinct account if you want it to go to an email address that's not already linked to a person, just because there is a one-to-one relationship with email addresses. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. I am not seeing anything else in the chat for real this time. So I'm going to go ahead and end this answer hour a little early. But please just reach out if you continue to have questions or if you're having any issues. Otherwise, we'll plan to speak with you all in January. Have a great few weeks of holiday time. And thank you all again so much for attending today.